One of the big concerns that we have to deal with over the next 50 years is energy. Where are we going to get it? Are we going to keep burning fossil fuels and coal? I live in a city that apparently has started doing electric buses for their public transportation. And yet this city burns coal for its power. So it's just moving the chain of, consumption of fossil fuels down the line just a little bit. Solar and wind are hopeful alternatives, but they're imperfect. You have to have expensive storage batteries that we have no really good way of disposing of. Granted, it's just expensive to dispose of them, basically, is what it comes down to. You have to really line them with some good resources, use up our resources in protecting ourselves from the battery, the resource that is the battery. Plus, you don't always have wind, you don't always have the sun, and you have to store that energy somehow. And we have no perfect storage units. And you have, when you push energy along a power line, you're actually wasting power to get power to whatever source you're sending your electricity to the house, whatever. So there's a lot of problems. Ideally, every house in America would have a solar panel roof. I mean, I'm that extreme. I'm like, just our whole roofing system for every roof in America ought to be a solar panel roof. Every car should have a solar panel on it. Why? Because every bit of free energy we can get, if we just make it an industrial standard to have electronic, or have these solar panel roofing for everything, that's a lot of free energy. Solar panels, apparently, at first we suspected they would only last 20 or 30 years, but the 30-year-old solar panels are still kicking. So we don't actually know what the lifespan of these things are. So it's a great alternative, but it's still not perfect. And here's where I come to what's still not ideal. We still need a better alternative, but we are so scared of this one that we don't even consider it, and that is nuclear. We've learned a lot since Chernobyl, a lot since all the other ways of getting energy. It's an expensive process, yes, but we've discovered ways of protecting ourselves from a nuclear meltdown that, unfortunately might ruin the power plant, but won't ruin everything around it. There's these gravity-fed sand systems that basically, if there's a problem, sand dumps in the second something goes wrong and floods the space with sand, so that there's no, the meltdown is contained. You don't have to send people in there to die and clean it out, which of course America would never do, but they had to do that in the Soviet Union just to get things to work. Anyway, just to control the meltdown. Anyway, we are better at handling it. We are smarter about handling it, and we could even do better, I imagine. Well, I don't know about that, but the point is, nuclear is a viable alternative. Even the storage of toxic waste is not the barrel full of toxic waste that's been dumped somewhere that will create zombies or whatever. It's much more safe than that. Is it ideal? No, because we're still wasting resources. But the point is we have got to unhook ourselves from our addiction to fossil fuels. Now, granted, there's a lot of wasted heat in a lot of different industries that are, is unduly heating our planet. So there's still, we've still got a long ways to go. I just saw a video about how they make stainless steel coils or steel coils. I'm in the stainless steel industry, so I'm constantly working with stainless steel. That's my bread and butter. and we need it for our medical industry and for a lot of industries. Of course, there's also just aesthetics. It's pleasing. But my point is that so long as we are agreeing to make steel, which is kind of the backbone of a lot of our industries, we will be wasting so much heat just to make a coil of steel. So much fossil fuels we burn just in the production of it. I'm just giving one example, and there's plenty. Can we engineer alternatives that will be safer for the environment and such? Yes, we should. We got to figure it out. Honestly, a lot of who knows what we'll unlock as we develop the space industry and are able to get production off planet. Of course, then we got to figure out how to re-enter it. So I'm just sci-fi fantasy acting as if I know what I'm talking about at that point, but I don't. All I'm trying to say is that we've got to be open to radical shifts, expensive shifts even. I'm at a hardware store that is massive, huge hardware store. And I go to it all the time because I can almost guarantee they have what I want. Some investor had the money to invest in this, and that's why we also have, the SpaceX and in the alternatives of SpaceX. We have a lot of people that have a lot of money, and they're willing to build the next level of infrastructure so that humanity can go to the next level. Luckily, so. I guess that's all I've got here. Hope that was interesting. All I'm trying to do with this video is help us. I realized we've got to be more flexible and we've got to be more open to what we are doing with our financial goals and our community goals and our national goals and our world goals. And I think nuclear energy has to be a part of it. And giving up on some of our aesthetic assumptions is going to have to be a part of it as well. All right. Thank you for your time.